I have no patience. Tell me what I needed. Wanna be shut up with my feelings. In the distance, the sun's still shining. There is a strong wind blowing. Wind blowing. Wind. Ow.
All right. All right. So, Windy Freestyle. Obviously freestyle in the title. So, when you go into freestyles, if you've been watching beatbox for a long time, obviously very clear indication and the differences of like structure and whatnot when you're approaching it from a freestyle standpoint to like a developed track, right? That just goes without saying. So, um, typically they are a little bit more messy, but I think like when you hear like freestyles, I feel like um sometimes there's like a lot more passion that's bled through in the freestyles because like it's pure just like artistic vomit, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? This, however, does not feel like a freestyle because the structure was completely on point. It just felt like a very well tuned kind of track. I don't know if like this is gonna sound weird, but I don't know if like he called the track Windy Freestyle with it being a complete track, or is it actually just like a track called Windy, but he has is not like completed in his mind. So in the technical aspect and in the percussion, he took a lot of creative liberty and just freestyled it a lot. Because if that's the case, then like I know Shogo is very good in like pretty much all areas of beatbox. But if that was like if that track was incomplete and half of it was a freestyle, that's fucking insane. Like that's so good. You know what I mean? Like the ability to have like that clean of a freestyle, like only the elite of the elite can kind of like match that, you know what I mean? So, um yeah, he showed a lot here that I like. And you know what, when you think about Shogo as well, like he used to be pretty prominent in the battle scene in like the late 2010s, but he pivoted his career to being just mainly um like a YouTuber, I guess. I'm sure he does stuff outside of it. I don't know much about outside of YouTube, but on the YouTube side, he just pretty much posts like music videos now, right? Like that's like what he does now in the beatbox scene. He doesn't compete anymore. He kind of stepped away from that whole area of the beatbox world, and now he's just kind of like out there doing his own thing, you know? And like I feel like that's really hard to do. Because like beatbox in itself is still pretty niche. So like to kind of like find your footing outside of these large like competitions is kind of hard, you know. Um, but Japan has probably the biggest beatbox scene in the entire planet, I think. So, um, yeah, if you're gonna make it anywhere, it's probably there for beatbox. So yeah, kudos to Shogo. That's another sick track. Um, just like the overall, like, I mentioned the structure, just like the overall kind of like vibe it gave me too was very battle-esque, and that's something that I don't really hear much from Shogo anymore because like I said, he stepped away from that. So most of the stuff I hear from him now, very musically oriented. But you know, every now and then we do get like a really technical heavy kind of track from him. Even though he does have like technicality in most tracks he does, but um not in like a battle sense of technicality, right? We'll get it every once in a while in tracks like Silver, like he released a couple of years ago, I think at this point. Um, but yeah, we haven't gotten something like pure like battle-esque from Shogo like this in a while, I think, at least from what I've seen. But there are two more tracks I'm gonna react to here that I haven't heard from him, so maybe that would also be the case with these tracks coming up. But I feel like the next two coming up are probably just like musically oriented tracks like I'm used to seeing from him. But only one way to find out. So yeah, let's move right on to the next one.
Brighter season, stand on your own 2 feet. Don't need a reason. Imagine you can be anything. Just live it for the moment. There's no time for the present. Don't think too hard in a trap. Let me see you shine. Harder. Harder. Let me see you shine bright. Harder. Harder. Let me see you shine bright. Shine bright, shine bright. Shine bright. Thinking for that light, it doesn't exist. It's what we make it, we make it. Looking for answers, it doesn't exist. It's what we make it, we make it. Up, like the moonlight. Up, like the spotlight. Up, it's so bright. Let me see you shine bright.
Ah, masterpiece. Wow. All right, so that's the kind of Shogo that I'm used to hearing, right? Because we just watched his Windy freestyle. A lot of it felt like the old kind of Shogo, you know, like the battle mode Shogo, just the way with like, especially his percussion, like the way he structured his percussion was very battle oriented, I'd say. You know, just from like me watching throughout the years, kind of like catching on to how people like construct their music when they're approaching it in battle side, then how they construct it when they're just not in competition, right? So this one feels a lot like the Shogo that I've seen in the last few years, especially just like on the YouTube side where he just kind of stepped away from competing. Now he's just making musically oriented tracks, and this is definitely one of those tracks, right? But yeah, he's been improving in every single area. That goes without saying. You know, it's been a little while since I last heard Shogo. I think it's like for this video, it's been 7 months, I want to say. Yeah, like roughly 7, 8 months, I think it's fair to say. Um, so yeah, it's been a while, and in the beatbox world, in terms of like if you're always doing it every day, improving your craft, that's a very long time. That leaves it open for significant improvement, which I think he has shown pretty much here in every area. Like one of the biggest standouts for me for Shogo is always like the way that he's able to kind of pitch his melodies. It feels like so effortless for him now. So I remember when he first started doing that stuff, um, you know, it it was good, but like it wasn't the most clean. But I think even back then it was still kind of mind blowing at the same time because there wasn't too many beatboxers I can think of that were kind of doing similar things. Maybe you can say like Jin Shinozaki, which is definitely one of them. But you know, it was still like relatively fresh and new. But now like you have this kind of style like years later and perfected, and this is like what like you can do with it. You know what I mean? Um, and like makes me think like how is this kind of style going to translate in the future when you have like an additional few years to improve on it, right? But yeah, killer stuff from Shogo once again, man. That's absolutely crazy. I was gonna say something else, but I completely forgot because I just like went on a little tangent right there. But yeah, super excited to see what Shogo does in the future. You know, um, whatever he does continues down this trajectory. Who knows? But yeah, obviously everything he does is pretty much like a complete banger. You know, because he doesn't post constantly. I feel like he has a mindset like when it comes to his music, it's very much quality over quantity, which I think for like a beatboxer is a very good thing. Um, because you can easily just like freestyle every day, right? And just throw out content on your channel, but I feel like he takes a lot of time to perfect it, right? Um, he has these ideas for tracks, and he just it feels like to me he just grinds them out, perfects them, and makes them all very unique at the same time. Because when you listen to his music, he does reuse a lot of stuff, but that's just like style, right? That's the nature of beatbox. You have like an underlying skill, um, or underlying sound set that you kind of like flesh out, structure, and change around to make it all feel a little bit different and unique in each track that you approach, right? Which is the case for him, but he like takes it to the next level and really makes sure that each individual track that he does, it has his own kind of identity. So like that's the feeling that I get every time I watch Shogo. Um, but yeah. Anyway, one more track here. It's called Future Traveler, as you can see on screen here. After this track, I'll be pretty much caught up to everything that he's released up until this point. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Feels like traveling, now running through. I put a bed in the past. It's a waste of time, don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. But oh, that feels so good. But oh, feels so much good. But just trust yourself, then you know, yeah, yeah. Yes. You know, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But oh, that feels so good. But oh, feels so much good. But just trust yourself, then you know. Just trust yourself, then you know, yeah, yeah.
Ah, damn. All right. That's probably my favorite that I listened to out of these three videos. Probably my favorite that I heard since Silver, like 2 years ago. Um, wow, that was great. That was good at like towing that fine line of like what I was saying earlier, um, dipping like dipping into like the realm of like battle-esque kind of material, but also keeping it tame enough where it just plays very well as like a musical track. Because when you think of beatbox in like the wide scale of like the die-hard fans of beatbox, and then just a general audience who know of it but don't really like listen too much outside of like a couple things. I think this does a very good job at appealing to both sides, right? But like with me saying that as a like a diehard beatbox fan, you pretty much love everything beatbox anyway. So it just applies more so to like the general audience of beatbox who are like who don't fully like who haven't listened to it enough to kind of like fully grasp like the overall concepts and like you know when it comes to like extreme technicality, I think like a lot of like general audience who listen to beatbox, that's where they kind of like tap out, right? Um, Whether or not it's because they don't understand it or it doesn't really appeal to them because they're only there for like the musical side, I get it, right? This just is what it is. That's why beatbox is kind of niche because it's hard to get into at face level, I think. Um, but this track here, I think, towed a fine line between both sides. I think that it has replayability for like the general kind of audience, I'd imagine. And also, you can really appreciate the kind of technical side from like diehard fans like myself. So I think that definitely did a good job appealing to both kind of sides. So yeah, that's probably my favorite. Again, probably my favorite track since Silver for sure. Um, just simply because yeah, it has like this kind of dark, um, technically heavy kind of side that I really appreciate from the battle, like the battle scene, right? So, um, which is like you know Shogo's very capable of that because like that's where he originated anyway. Um, and I feel like every beatboxer who's been doing it for a long time can do stuff like that just based on like experience at that point. Um, I think like every beatboxer who's been doing it for a long time is very capable of doing that kind of stuff. Um, it's just whether at the end of the day you choose to do it or not. And even though he's kind of stepped away from battling, you can still see glimpses of like his battle kind of side, and it just confirms to me that he's an absolute killer still if he chose to come back at any point. But um, yeah, instead we're getting these kind of tracks, which I'm 100% okay with. At the end of the day, it's still for me. I still love to watch beatbox, listen to it, no matter what kind of medium it's in, and Shogo here is in a sense, kind of paving the way for this new kind of medium for beatbox because it doesn't always have to be around battles, right? That's probably the biggest problem with the beatbox scene is that because it is so niche still, the only way to get like recognition is going through these battles. But we have people like Shogo kind of like paving a way for other opportunities, I think. And yeah. Anyway, this track was absolutely killer. Everything I can say about this one pretty much applies to everything else, except the fact that this one definitely leaned a little bit more into that battle oriented kind of style, which I really appreciate. Really nice pitching on his basses too. He used some sounds in here that is like so super basic, I think, that like even non-beatboxers can do, but the way that he structured it and implemented it into the track itself just made it work so well. It was very effective. Um, so yeah, making use of the useless, as some beatboxers like to say, um, because at the end of the day, it is just a bunch of sounds put together, So, all right, 3 videos into one from Shogo here. Um, yeah, excited again to see what he does in the future. We don't get to see him too often because I feel like I wouldn't say he's like a perfectionist. I don't really know the guy, but I feel like just listening to his stuff, I feel like he does put a lot of time and effort into it. So, quality over quantity is what I expect from this guy. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed the videos here, links in the description to the original videos. Go leave it a like. Go check out Shogo as well. Links in the description to his channel. Go leave him a sub. You want to support me though, leave a like on this video, sub to my channel, check out my Discord channel as well. Links in the description to that. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next beatbox reaction video.